Hey guys, and welcome to this commentary on confidence. So you may be wondering, why the heck is Annie doing a commentary? Well, the reasoning behind that is that back in 2015, Turtles and Thomas did a couple commentaries on his earlier episodes, and I've always thought they were pretty cool. So one day I thought, that might be fun to do. Maybe that might be fun. So yeah, here we are. So go check out his commentaries because they're really cool. And I hope you guys enjoy this one. So without further ado, let's get started. Here we go. I really like the opening on this. And I think some of you have noticed by now, I'm extremely fond of panning down from the sky. I overuse it a lot, but it's cinematic. It looks cool. I like it. Should probably figure out different ways of doing it, though. So here we are on the very simply constructed work shed. I should probably get a better work shed. I love a lot of things about this episode. I'm very proud of it for a lot of reasons, but one thing that does bother me is the driver's voice, because he starts out with an American accent, and then 10 seconds later, I kid you not, he has a British accent. And it just gets more British, and like it kind of wavers between the two. That annoys me. One thing that was intentional about voicing was Rosie's voice. I know in other episodes, she kind of talks like this. She has a really high voice. Oh my gosh. But in this one, her voice is a lot lower. It's more like my regular speaking voice. And I think I did make it a little too low, but what I was trying to do was, she's extremely subdued in this episode, and I wanted to try to convey that. I mean, you can hear little hints of here and there, but mostly her voice is more like my regular speaking voice, and that's because she's so subdued. And yeah, I think I went a little overboard, but that's what I was trying to convey. Another thing about this episode is the soundtrack. I originally didn't intend for this to have a Thomas and the Magic Railroad soundtrack, but then I was listening to Thomas and the Magic Railroad music one day while writing the end scene for this, actually, and I thought, that it might be nice to use this music. I mean, I didn't want to, I don't use it that often. I don't think I've ever used it in an episode. And I probably won't use it that often in episodes again. But this one, I don't know, I wanted the Thomas and the Magic Railroad soundtrack. And one thing about that I'll go into a little bit later, because I just want to talk about this scene. Kudos to Enterprising and Turtles, because they really knocked it out of the park with this one. They said their lines exactly as I pictured them when I wrote them. Like I asked, can you guys do 2 New Yorker trucks? And they did great. I was laughing so hard when I was first editing the scene. I think you'll notice that Rickety is in front of Tom and Harry. Harry's the covered Kirker truck, and Tom is, And there was gonna be a joke about that. Like, I was originally going to have Rickety say, "Oh my gosh, not another counseling session," kind of as a joke. And I was going to have Harry say, "Well, I mean, we totally get it. I mean, you can't just tell any Tom, Rick, and Harry all your deepest, most emotional secrets." But I didn't get to stick that in, but, get it? Tom, Rick, and Harry? Tom, Dick, and Harry? I don't know. I'm a goofball. I really liked the lighting in this one. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but some shots, I think, looked very nice, and I'm very happy with that. So the thing I was going to say about the soundtrack is that, I don't know if anybody noticed, I think maybe some of you might have, but I was trying to go with kind of a theme. I gave Rosie the theme of I know how the moon must feel. That's kind of like the recurring theme in here. And I think it kind of makes sense because, Rosie, she's always having an identity crisis. She's not really sure of herself. You know, like, I don't have da, 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 da. And she was singing that in Young Whippersnappers, so I didn't plan that out. I wish I had, but yeah. That's Rosie's theme in this, so that's kind of the recurring motif. If you go back and watch it, I think you'll see what I was trying to do. Oh, here we go, another panning up shot, and look, it's Lady! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, how did you get in here? I really like the line. Does the works foreman know you're here? So, I've gotten a couple people asking me, wow, why do you use the Erdl Lady? I mean, it's cool, but why do you use the Erdl Lady? So, that's yet another thing that I wish I could have said I planned out. You know, I originally just started using the Erdl Lady because I thought, oh, well, I mean, I love the Erdl Lady and it runs on wooden railway tracks, so here you go. But looking back on it, it actually kind of makes sense because, you know, Lady is this magic engine, and so she's very different from all the other engines. And so the Erdl Lady, it kind of conveys that because it looks different. It looks a little more elegant, a little more intricate than the other engines. So that's kind of like this. That's kind of saying, "Wow, look, this engine is different. This engine is magical. Wow." So yeah, it kind of worked out like that. At least that's the way I see it. Me? Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of little squeaks of the high-pitched Rosie that sneak in there. Well, this story is kind of personal to me for a couple reasons, and I've told a couple people that this was originally this whole episode. It was originally based around a song, but actually, the real backstory, the backstory, if you will, is that around the time I started writing this, I was actually kind of going through some of the stuff that Rosie's going through, at least YouTube-wise. I was kind of in that whole, oh my gosh, my videos are garbage, why do people watch them? I never meant anything, you know, all that underconfident garbage. So at the same time, I started thinking, you know, in Young Whippersnappers, Rosie basically nearly died in an explosion, and she seemed to be completely fine afterwards. But I mean, was she? I mean, people or engines aren't typically completely fine after an explosion, so I thought, what if I explored that? And I wanted to do kind of a magical-ish Thomas the Magic Railroad thing. Like, again, this was before I thought of the music. But I still wanted to go for that vibe. And I started writing, and this is the result. So during the writing, I kind of poured some of what I was going through into what Rosie was going through. So, yeah, it all came together, and again, I'm very happy with how it turned out. And I'm very happy with how people have responded to it. Like, when I was editing it, I thought, oh no, nobody's gonna like this. This is not like what I usually do. It's weird. It's just one set and two engines talking to each other for like 10 minutes. But I went ahead and posted it, and the response was so great. Thank you guys so much. I'm so glad you all liked this episode. Yeah, so I'm just kinda searching for something else to talk about. I know there was something I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah. So, you know the blocks that the workstation is made up of? In some scenes, you can see, like here, you can see Farmer in the background. Like, some scenes you can see writing on them, and this is really off track, but the story is kind of funny. When I was little, I didn't have any destinations, so I would take these blocks and I would write the names of destinations on them, and those were my destinations. So that is really off topic, but that's kind of why you see the writing there. I really like all the shots with Rosie and Lady together, because I think the lighting in those is really nice. Oh, and here we go. What do you know? It's another panning up to the sky. Wow. So there's our pixelation effect. And here. Well, I wanted to use a sparkly Magic Railroad effect, but you know, Windows Movie Maker couldn't manage it. So here is kind of an important part of the episode. Rosie's driver is sort of calling Rosie out of a dream. But if you keep watching, you kind of realize, was it a dream? Was it really just a dream? And that's kind of what I wanted to leave the viewer with, like, was it a dream or wasn't it? Because the effects stay with you, and you hear Lady's whistle at the end, so it's like, huh. So that's just something for the viewer to think about. I'm going to be using Lady some more in future videos, so don't worry. There's going to be more on that. Gotta plan it out. I haven't planned it out yet, but I know that she is going to be appearing again. So here's another case of the music lining up with the scene in just a really great way. Like, it wasn't intentional, but I'm very happy with how the music lined up with this. And again, we have our recurring motif, our resolution motif of I know how the moon must feel. But this time it's happier. And as you go into the credits, it gets triumphant because, you know, Rosie's whole crisis of confidence is resolved. Oh, here's the one part that bothers me. The driver says, see, all you needed was just a little confidence. But then the music completely drowns out the word confidence, so it was gonna tie together really well, but it didn't, and that's kind of annoying. I think the viewer got the message. So yeah, that was Confidence. It was a really different story from me, and it was really fun to do, and it means a lot to me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary. I know it was kind of messy and all over the place, but thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!